Go ahead.
Could you talk about some of the other areas of reform? That one obviously struck a note with all of us, but some of the other areas of reform that are in the longer-term legislation.
Sure. Let me just take a minute to collect some of them.
John Burnett.
John? Okay. John was asking about other areas of reform that we are proposing. You can help me here. Let's see. I mentioned the pension and the healthcare system. I mentioned the streamlining and the headcount reduction, about 300 positions we're expecting. We have already reduced the time it used to take the highway department, for example, to do a project from concept to completion by about 40%. We can do a better job there because it was, in some cases, 10 years to get from, Mayor, to get from concept to completion. There is money in that time, and there is irritation in that time as well. You want to say some more about
one of the things? I think people should understand that the bill is comprehensive, both in transportation and in things that transportation impacts. There is a Buy Green and Build Green initiative in the bill requiring that we plan in a sustainable way and reinforcing that as a top priority. There is an Office of Performance Management. The number one measure in transportation today, unfortunately, is how much we spend. But we don't really know if that's wise spending. And, we have a record statewide road and bridge program today, but if the governor asked, I couldn't tell him what the condition of the pavement was on every state highway in the Commonwealth. I would like to be able to do that. The Highway Department published this year for the first time what we call a scorecard. This Office of Performance Management will take that throughout all the transportations under the simple theory of what gets measured gets managed. And it will help for people to understand that, okay, we're measuring this is important, guardrail's important, pavement's important, intersection analysis is important. We also have a private-public ombudsman in the bill to help with the regional equity issues, as well as the intersection with what we do in economic development and understanding the relationship between those. We have tort reform in the bill, which is a huge savings over a 20-year period. And lastly, we have a mandate that the transportation agencies work with the Executive Office of Health and Human Services on the relationship between health and transportation. And this is why we're emphasizing mass transportation, helping out the MBTA, and helping out, as importantly, helping out the RTAs. Because the person who's waiting for the bus in Fitchburg is just as important as the person who needs to get to work in Mattapan. So the bill is extremely comprehensive and sounds in all kinds of reforms. Now, anybody who's been following this issue for 20 years probably, is familiar with what I'm saying. I'm not saying that these are new ideas. These are things that smart people like you and throughout the Commonwealth have come up with. We've grabbed onto, we've embraced, we've put together, and we've put in our bill.
John, one thing I would add is that we are trying to institutionalize some regional equity in this bill. So 75%, I'm going to oversimplify it, but 75% of the gas tax will be, of the total gas tax, not just the increase, will be spent in the region from which it's collected. So that in the district, from the district system in the Mass Highway system. So
That answers. So the difference between the 73 cents and the 19 cents is going to be coming to the state through the reforms of the bill?
We wish. No, the difference between...
No. Oh, I see what you're saying. Do we pay for everything else we need through those reforms? No.
Okay.
No. But, this is back to the point about how, we just could not propose 73 cents. It's not going anywhere. It's crummy time.
Wendy could.
Well,
I think I can.
all right. She did. All right.
She will be running for office anytime.
But I also don't want to get, there are other things that we have already done and have to continue to do to invest in transportation apart from the gas tax. We have an accelerated bridge program now. The legislature has supported bonding for that, so we can start to reduce the backlog of structurally deficient bridges. We can't do all of them with the $3 billion or so, but we can get going, and we can do it fast because the longer you wait, the more it costs. We did a series of bond bills last year in transportation. Generally, they're the first bond bills in a long time. It was actually as part of the response to Elliot's question. I'll come back to this in just a second. the first bond bills in a long time, to start to rebuild this, this infrastructure. And all those things help shorten that timeline from the Transportation Finance Commission's report about the 20 years, 20 billion over 20 years, 19 over 20 years. And the 19 cents helps to shorten it further. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So there's just some trade-offs we're having to make.